And maybe more square with the camera, then there won't be a glare. Hi, guys. Thanks for watching the replay
of Sunday with Sonya with special guest Skyla Mann.
Dun, dun, dun.
Woohoo! So excited.
Look at all the people joining. Oh, my word.
Oil G. Oh, and it is. We can see. Hi.
Hello.
Oh, let's put this back a little bit. You're good, Annie. Let me move this back a little bit so you can see.
Hi.
All right. Oh, we're still up. We're still
I'm too
down.
tall.
You're too tall.
I will shrink. I've been using Ula Grow. And oh, that's lovely.
So, is this cool or what?
Look at this.
Like,
it's
our
the real
studio.
deal.
Good evening. We're so excited about this.
Sonya just flew back like a jet setter from Denver, Colorado, just in time to come. So, thank you.
And you were just done at Costco, just in time to pop over to the studio.
I was, and now.
Okay, so yeah, turn the volume down. Hi.
This is a very high-tech studio.
So
who's here? The names go by so quickly.
Okay, yeah, type in your name.
Tell us where you're from.
And where you're from.
Or where you're going.
Hi.
Hello. We have to lean in super
What is
close.
Skyla going to say?
You just never know, do you?
I have no idea. We haven't rehearsed this, but it's going to be fun. All right, so if you've done Periscope before, you know you can swipe your screen, share it with your followers. If you're on live, and you can tap the screen all during the session.
Just like a telegraph.
And give it lots of hearts so that it'll go up in the, I don't know why you do that.
I don't know either.
Up in the something.
But it looks really cool.
It looks pretty.
So we need twice as many hearts tonight because Sonya and Skyla, so just two-finger it. Yeah.
Karen from Ames.
Hey, Karen.
Hannah.
Hello,
Yay.
Hannah.
So excited to see
this
everybody.
Is fun.
Okay, I have to turn my stool here so I can put my feet on the...
There you go.
I have no socks to show today, so I'm sorry about that. I'm wearing sandals.
Mine are boring.
No, yeah.
I'll leave mine on.
Okay.
I was going to wear fun socks, but it was...
Laura from Ontario, Janice, Cedar
Hi,
Falls,
Laura.
Liz from the Woodlands. Yay.
Hi. Oh,
I know. Right? Who knows?
Watch out.
Who knows what can happen, right?
This could be crazy.
Elf Ops. Hooray. Invited followers. Good
Hello,
job.
Linda.
Linda Ankeny and To the Moon.
Woo! Woo-hoo. That's where she's going. I love it. And the moon is beautiful tonight, by the way.
It is
huge.
I'll have to go out and look at it.
It
outside
is.
the studio.
Yes. We'll step out back in the alley.
In the alley.
Jocelyn is here.
I don't know who that is that said you're looking forward to this.
Sherry.
We're looking forward
Fantastic.
To it too. Yay.
How fun.
I know, right? Okay. So we are just so honored today to have Skyla in the studio, right?
Thank you.
As you know, we did a scope earlier talking about Skyla's heroic and amazing rise to stardom in the beginning of her journey. Johnston in this house. All right. So we actually, hey, Jean B.
Hello, Jean.
So we actually wanted to have Skyla herself here, so it wasn't just me telling her story secondhand. And we're going to let you ask some questions. But first, what do you guys think of the new studio? You like this? Yay.
Yeah. Hearts if you like it.
Hearts if you like it. Woohoo. I only see green hearts. I need multicolor hearts.
There we go. There we
go. Oh, and
way to go, Annie.
Good job.
Our crew in the studio is loving us. Oh, we love you too.
Yay. This is so
Too
much fun.
This is awesome.
I know.
We should do this
I wish
every
everybody
day.
was here in the studio with us because then they would know.
We could have a live studio audience.
We could have a
live.
live.
We should.
We should have a live
Who would
studio.
be our live studio audience? That's the question.
Type and send hearts at the same time.
Well, then you're just going to have to choose.
That's all right.
That's okay. One or the other.
Either one.
Okay, so we got people who would be in the live studio. That would be awesome.
That would be
They
very
could clap.
Cool. Yay.
We could throw prizes.
Yeah, we could.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Where's my Ningxia?
I know, exactly.
If you could just catch it through the phone.
There you go. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Okay, next week.
So, yeah. So we're here on a Sunday night.
Sunday with Sonya.
Bless you for joining us on a Sunday night at 7 o'clock. This is how it worked out with our flights and our schedules and everything. So we're really honored to have Skyla here in the studio to talk about her beginning journey with Young Living. Now, in case you don't know, Skyla is very close to Diamond.
Oh, we're so close.
So she is Diamond, right? So I'm very excited to have her because this lady has done amazing things with her group and in Young Living. So tell me, did you just start Young Living and just go right away because you're so skilled and talented? And
No,
Okay.
that is not the case at all.
Right.
In fact, my story is that Sonya introduced me to Young Living. Many of you might have heard this story, but I bet there's quite a few that haven't. Sonya was
people in
pushing
your teams who haven't, so swipe and share.
pushing a stroller around our neighborhood. We're very lucky to live close to one another. And she was pushing her beautiful girls around the neighborhood, and the bottom of the stroller was filled with eggs. And she was passing out eggs because she was friends with a farmer that had a surplus. And so, one family can only eat so many dozen eggs.
That's right.
And so I'm not one to turn down free farm fresh eggs. So I said, sure. We struck up a conversation. And somewhere along that same time frame, I was just getting ready to open a piano studio. And I taught group piano lessons in our basement. We converted our family room into a piano studio. And I was very excited about this, but I was also going to have about 45 students every week coming in and out of our house. So I got a diffuser, I got an enrollment kit. The funny thing about the start of my story is that I have no recollection whatsoever about actually enrolling.
I was just thinking that. I don't remember where we
I don't know.
If it was at your house, my house.
I don't know where it happened.
I don't know either.
So it's just a good thing I'm here because I don't know how it happened. But somehow back in 2007, I think it was, is when I enrolled. And for 5 years, we just very slowly and gradually began using the products. It was a long time into that journey before I ever attended a class because there weren't a lot of classes going on back then.
I don't think I was doing regular classes
Right.
then.
And I don't even recall very early on having any resource material. It was sort of a learn by jumping in the pond. And every month I would try a different product and just find out for myself what it did and what I liked and what not. So we did that for 5 years. And so it was in the fall of 2012, in August, that I want to roll in those. Okay, buddy. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Got that one blocked. Woohoo! One down.
And of course,
See ya.
I read it.
No.
I want to roll in. No, I don't. Just kidding. Okay.
I did that last time.
Good night. That's why they're. Anyway, so.
You're blushing. She's blushing. Can you do that?
No. Makeup. Oh, shoot. Okay, so where were we? I don't know. Somewhere in the fall of 2012, and it was at the end of August, this dear woman called me and said, Skyla, we have been to convention. We have seen what people are doing with this business, and I think we need to talk. Would you be interested in learning a little bit about what the business side of Young Living looks like? And my honest answer was, no, not really interested because I was really busy and I was up to my neck in homeschool and 4-H and volunteering at church and piano. And the plate was full, as it always is, right? Yeah. So, but here's the deal. Sonya lives around the corner and down the hill, and she said, no pressure, but I'm just going to have a few friends get together, and I'm just going to go over kind of the basics of the business side of Young Living. You can come and learn and just listen. And always, 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 she said, no pressure. So I brought my sister-in-law, and we came, and we came and sat on the couch together, and there were about 8 of us here, I think, something like that, and we learned about the business side, and it wasn't fancy, but it cast a vision, and I think that's our job, is that we just have to paint a picture of what could be, and so Sonya did a beautiful job of that, and so that was the end of August. But I didn't start really building until the first weekend of November.
So what did you do in that time period? I mean, was there a point when you just said, I'm doing this? And what got you to the point of saying, yes, I'm going to do this?
Well, I think a lot of it was the vision that you cast. Okay. It was the possibility. And I remember distinctly leaving your house, not thinking so much of fortune and fame and that kind of thing, but I remember thinking, wow, we really are sitting on a gold mine, and I have not told anybody for 5 years. Actually, that's not true. There were a few people, maybe 3 or 4 people that somehow got enrolled. I think you did a couple of those for me because I didn't know how I enrolled. But so I had maybe 3 or 4 people on my team. And I just felt I felt a little guilty all of a sudden that I had never shared it with anyone and told them that there were some alternatives that, they could put in their wellness toolbox. And certainly I hadn't painted the picture of income potential because I hadn't realized that myself. So, so I think I let that percolate in my head for a week or two and just thought, okay, well, what would it look like if we did do it? Yeah. And honestly, I didn't know. I didn't know what it would look like. So I followed the leader a little bit. And I know you recommended a few resources. I think I probably left your house that day with the Jim Rohn CD, which we use a ton of as a lead tool, which is great, especially for those people that are interested in the business side or just need to have that whole myth about network marketing,
because it's really kind of your philosophy in life, right? It's not just, hey, let's go build a business. It's switching your whole philosophy from I'm going to go get a job and make money to I'm going to go own something and build something that will last generations to come.
It's so different. It is so different.
So the Jim Rohn CD.
So that was definitely one that I started with right away. And we have 3 children, and I remember distinctly listening to that so much as we drove around that they could finish his sentences. And I would say if you have that CD at home, that is your measure of have I listened to it enough? When your kids can start to recite it, you're getting close.
And my daughter's over here going,
you can, right?
I can recite it.
It's not the blowing of the wind, it's the
setting of the sail. She's got it.
Good job. But that's true. We listened to it so much that they had it ingrained in them, and of course it was just starting to sink into my skull then too. The other thing that I did though right away, because a lot of these other tools that we recommend now, we didn't have back then. No. So the next step that I took, I'm a big sucker for free resources. And so I went to our public library and I checked out every single audio, video, book, whatever I could find on, best business practices, on relationships and that kind of thing. And, if there was stuff specifically about network marketing, fantastic. But I scoured every resource that I possibly could and just tried to become a student of what I was going to build. And I did that for 2 months.
Yeah. And I can't remember. There was one resource in particular you got really excited about. And now I don't remember what it was, but it was a CD set or something. And it was the way they explained the business part of network marketing that really excited you. Do you remember that? I remember thinking, oh, this is a great...
I'll have to think about that. There were so many. Yeah. But we just dove in deep in lots of different aspects of it. And honestly, I have a philosophy. I'm trained as a teacher, and so I have an education degree. And I think part of my personal philosophy is just to be a lifelong learner. Don't ever get to the point where you feel like, okay, I got it. I know it all now. Now I can go to the next step. And so I just kept trying to learn and learn and learn. And still to this day, I think that's the best way to keep sharpening your skills.
So let me ask you this. So before you started, though, I think about people who just get started and they take action right away, which is wonderful. Sometimes they might not get the results that they want right away and get discouraged. So do you think that your investment in time in learning helped you go forward with more confidence when you did finally get started?
I think it did. And I think confidence is a huge thing because when I finally stepped out, well, you stepped out with me. That first weekend of November, always ask your upline to teach your first class or second. But I did feel more equipped. I didn't feel like we were jumping into the total unknown. I kind of knew what to expect a little bit. And so I think that carries over then in your presentation. When you're speaking to people, you're not apologetic and coming at it from this, oh, I'm not really sure if this is going to work. I knew because I had read, and I really did have confidence in the process. I certainly had lots of confidence in the company and in the products. That wasn't an issue for me.
Because you've been using
because we'd had all this time. And so, not that I advocate that you wait 5 years, be a product user for 5 years. You do not need to do that, but you do need to be a product of the product every single month. You need to be trying new things so that you have those stories developing, and you can share those with your folks.
Okay, so first class, what'd you do? Did you call people? Did you email them? How did you get this together where you started actually building?
First class, I think we did mostly emails and phone calls for that one. I don't recall that we had a Facebook group for that one.
Okay.
I'm sure we
That was
had
kind of
Facebook,
Facebook,
but I don't think I was using Facebook in a big way then. So I'm sure it was emails and phone calls. And my first class was about 2 hours away, close to my hometown, and it was a lot of friends of my parents and their church friends, and so we got together. And I mean, it's a great story because that first night the host enrolled, and she has never left the number one spot in my team. She has always maintained my lead team. She's never moved.
Yeah.
So way to go, Susan.
Yay.
So that's been kind of fun.
Yeah.
But that night definitely set the tone. We had about 14 people there, but it was about 7 married couples. And I think all of them enrolled.
Yeah.
There was one that wasn't married, which was Susan's daughter, who is married now.
And did enroll.
And did enroll. So anyway, we were I think almost 100% that night, and it was a phenomenal class.
What a blast.
And we laughed hard on the way home about the stories that were shared. And I just remember thinking, and even said to you on the way home, geez, Sonya, this was so fun, and it was so easy. Like, I'm thinking to myself, why don't more people do this? If, I'm running the numbers, did I really just earn that much money tonight? Well, that's crazy. Why isn't everyone doing this? And so the other big part, I think, of my success early on was that's the mentality that I set from the start, that this is fun and it's easy, and it should be, because we have a great product, we have an awesome company, and there's nothing to fear, So how
did you get people to show up? So did you say, I'm coming out and I'm sharing oils with you? Did you?
With this group, I don't know if it was different, but they knew me. They were people
She's
who
fun, so they just want to be there so they can laugh.
and they
Skyla.
were people who have watched me grow up.
Yes.
Okay, so this was what we would consider your very warm market. They were good friends from my hometown. So they're the kinds of people that if you tell them, listen, I have a new business, I would just love some support. They're the kinds of people that would say, I'll be there for you. I don't care what it is.
Yeah. And I think, I know when we got there, I don't know if you did this ahead of time, but when we got there, you did some edifying.
Yes.
By the time that we got to the class. So
yes.
What is edifying? What is that?
Well, that is a very important step. Rather than just throwing your people into a Facebook group or into a room with people and saying, okay, go, time, start your class, Sonya. I'm going to go sit over here and have chips and salsa. Edification is crucial because the people in the room had no idea who Sonya was. And in Iowa, she and I, we live in the city, and we had gone to the country. Yeah. So here I'm bringing the city girl.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. And they didn't know who she was. So part of my job as the connector was to edify for Sonya, which is super easy, but just to let them know how much I respected her about all of the years of health research she has done and the journey that she had been on, and what a great teacher she was, and how passionate she was about, sharing the oils and that kind of thing, and thanking her for, good grief. She took a good 8 hours out of her evening to drive over there and drive back. And so that meant a lot to me. So it was important, very important to edify for her. And I'm going to be honest, I don't remember if I said anything about the host, but going forward, and certainly something that I would want you to know, is that it's important to edify for the hosts too, about how kind they are to open up their home and to provide refreshments if that's the case. And
I think I did cross-edify for you.
Absolutely.
When we got there at the opening of the class,
Yes.
and she was introducing me to people, then I could turn to them and say, you guys are so lucky because Skyla's been using these oils already for this many years. She's very knowledgeable or whatever. And if she hadn't, I would have found something else to edify about her. Of course, they knew and loved her anyway, but it's still a good practice to get into, to edify for if you're bringing your upline with you. I've been to classes before where somebody asked me to come to the class, and then when I came in, they said, and this is Sonya, and it doesn't give me much power, right? And I'm sure Skyla's been in those situations too, and they go, well, here's Skyla. Well, they know Skyla, but their friends don't know Skyla. So it's really important ahead of time to say, this is Skyla, she's a platinum, she's driven all the way from wherever, she's so knowledgeable, sweet, funny, whatever it is that you like about her, and lift that up.
It's like an insurance policy for your class. If you want to ensure that it goes better and that people are listening attentively, I try to tell people, make sure that you've got your pens out and your notebook, because you're going to want to take a lot of notes. Whatever Sonya says, you're going to want to jot that down. And if you set that tone, I
want to get out my notepad.
They are much. They are much more inclined to be attentive and expectant of some good information, rather than go ahead and get comfortable, get some food if you want. We're going to be up here and talking for a while, so we can help make our own classes better.
Yeah, I think so. So after that first class, and we were driving back, and you went, "This is so fun and easy, and I could do this every night." And then we got home, and what happened when we got home?
We pretty much did it every night.
So talk about that, how you did that with your family. And there's a lot of people watching that have children, and you had children, you were a homeschooling mom. You have a husband who needs attention. So how did you make that happen where you were doing so much activity in 1 month?
So we decided as a family, we periodically have family meetings so that we can kind of all get on the same page. And we kind of decided after the success of this first night, like, okay, this is going to work. Let's be intentional about this. And so we said, here's the deal. If we clear at least 3 or 4 nights a week for mom to have classes, then we're going to need some help. We're going to need help meal planning, getting meals over with, and the kitchen cleaned up before 6:30 when the class starts. We're going to have to make arrangements for shuttling kids here and there. And at that point, our oldest didn't have a driver's license, so that all fell on Brian. So he had to make sure that he was home in time to do certain things. But there's just a lot of logistics. If you guys have kids, type in the comment box, how many kids do you have? Because that definitely plays a factor. If you've got young kids at home, in how you have to juggle this. And it's not impossible, but it takes some creative planning. So we definitely did some logistics. And the cool thing was, 4.5. I love it.
4.5.
Congratulations on that half. Or maybe that's your husband. I don't know.
I think that's one in the oven.
Could be.
Yes.
But we had,
Picking up our fare.
awesome. Who is that?
Yeah.
Upward drops.
Upward drops.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's great.
Children are a blessing, everyone.
But we just had a lot of things to work out. But you can negotiate anything if you decide that you want to. So we said, okay, if we're going to do this, then let's do it for real. Let's do it hard for a month and see what happens. Now, I'm not sure that you want me to say that, because that's
okay.
probably not, it's not the mentality that we want everybody to have, but I'm being completely transparent with you. We said, let's hit it hard for a month and see what sticks, see what happens, and we will decide from there how much we want to pursue this. So we did literally 3 or 4 classes a week at night. And on the days that we didn't have classes at night, I would try to meet one-on-one with somebody. I would do lunch and learns, and have people over to my house over lunch, and I wouldn't cook lunch for them. I would say, bring your lunch, and while you're eating, I will teach you. And it was great, and it was easy, and everything that I've done is low-key because my purpose was to teach them about Young Living, not to be Martha Stewart.
Right.
And that's important too, because if you want this to duplicate, not everybody has the hospitality gene. And so I want people who don't have the hospitality gene to feel just as capable of having classes as anybody else. So
probably the most important thing to have at your classes is clean water for people to drink while they're smelling and putting oils on and possibly ingesting oils.
And toilet paper.
Oh, that
have toilet. Because when they drink that lemon water, telling you what.
You never know what you're going to get in this studio.
That's a free piece of information that we won't even charge you for.
So, and you had some specific goals. So you didn't just start out and say, hey, I'm going to try to do this. You said, I'm going to do it, which is a big difference between I'm going to try to do it.
Yeah.
Because you can't try. If I try to lift up this chair, I can't really try. I'm either picking it up or I'm not.
Yeah.
So you did make a decision. We're going to do this, and then we're going to evaluate.
And we're going to evaluate,
if it's worth our time, effort, and energy. And then you had some specific goals, and you had a cute way of doing it. Can I grab this piece of paper?
Sure.
Let you demonstrate your...
Yes, and I will tell you, the other thing we did in terms of goals and incorporating our family was that every time I advanced in rank, we had a piece of paper on the refrigerator that said, when we hit executive, this is what we'll do as a family.
Oh, that's nice.
And so it's really important, especially if you have little kids, pick incentives or goals for them that they get excited about, because then when you say, okay, it's time to clean the house for a class, you don't get this, again. Instead, you're like, okay, we'll do it. My girls were awesome about helping because they understood what we were working towards.
Right.
So 1 month, it was in February of 2013, this one put on an incentive that if you enrolled 10 people, you could earn a free TheraPro diffuser. Now, at this point...
And I was silver at the time, just so you know.
Yeah.
I was not a mucky muck or a platinum or a gold or a diamond or anything. I was just I want to say just a silver, but some of you that are silvers think, well, I couldn't do big, promotions. But anyway.
You might want to think about it. Yeah. You might, because you never know. You just never know what carrot we dangle is going to appeal. So honestly, I could have probably bought the silly TheraPro diffuser myself.
Yeah.
Right? But she offered to give me one for free, and I said, listen, I'm going to take you up on that. So the goal was you had to enroll 10 people in February, and that's a short month, by the way. So what I did was I took a piece of paper, and this one's a little bit smaller, but you'll get the idea, and I folded that 8.5 by 11 piece of paper into about 16 squares, and I wrote my top 16 recruit names, the people that, if I could have anybody in the world that were friends or family, who I wanted, and I wrote their names in a box.
I didn't realize you actually wrote that.
So I did write names in a box. Yep. Now, here's the thing. So as I worked on them, if they enrolled, we'd circle the box or color it in or whatever. But what happened was that put that mentality in me that we were working towards a goal. Did I really care if I enrolled those 16 or others? No. But I was aiming for 10. And so on the other side of the paper, it was blank. And so I would talk to other people, and as they would enroll, we'd write them in. And it was just like, playing bingo. And so I made it a game. It was on the fridge. My husband would come home from work and say, how many did you check off today? And, it was just kind of fun. But the thing is, we were in that mentality of sharing with a purpose.
Yeah.
And I wanted a free diffuser. And I remember that it got down to the 27th of the month, and I was at 9, and I just thought, there is no way we're going to be at 9 and not get this. So I got on the phone, and I just kept calling people until someone said, sure. And it was done, and I got a free diffuser.
Yay!
It was great.
Yeah. So keeping that momentum rolling, so say somebody's already started a few classes, they're maybe doing a class or 2 each month, but they really want to go silver. Well, if you were sitting down coaching somebody and they were doing 2 classes a month, say, and they said, Skyla, I want to go to silver. What is it going to take for me to get that silver in 6 kit?
Momentum, I heard you use that word. Momentum is like the secret sauce to this whole thing. Yeah. And when you've got it made. And when you lose it, it's like the Great Depression. So you really need, you're exactly right, whoever said that, do 2 a week. You need to up it from 2 a month to at least 2 a week. And here's one of the great lines that we learned at GoPro Recruiting Mastery last week was that in this profession of network marketing, people are not numbers. But this is a numbers game, okay? So people are not numbers, but this is a numbers game. So we each have our own averages. So if you have a class and you average 6 people, and out of those 6, you can get maybe 2 or 3 enrollments, then just do the math and figure out how many of those classes of 6 do I need to do. And you may choose to do 2 a week. You might choose to do 4 a week, and get the momentum rolling. Because here's what happened when I started, and we started doing 3 or 4 classes a week. What happened for me was that the people who would come to a class on Tuesday night would enroll, and then I would say, hey, by the way, I'm doing another one of these classes on Thursday. If you know some people, which I'm sure you do, who might also be interested, go ahead and invite them. And then they would come back Thursday night, and within 1 week, we were building people's legs. It was crazy.
Not leg, but
yeah, we were like growing their leg. Yes, so we could we were getting traction. Exactly, and that's how you get people's attention. Is okay. So I just got my kit paid for in the first week, and I still have 2 more weeks this month that I could talk to people. Okay, so then, then they're really interested. So you've got to get Big Mo on your side.
And there's something else to that, too. Don't you think as people are brand new and they first get this vision about essential oils and how powerful essential oils are, they are radically excited.
Yeah.
And then as we get used to using essential oils, we begin to kind of take them for granted, etc. But getting them to mini classes so they learn a lot, and then I don't want to say capitalizing, but kind of
taking advantage of the energy.
Initial excitement for people is helpful, because once they've been enrolled 6 months, and then you go back and say, hey, you want to do a class? Maybe they're not quite as excited as they were that first week when they got their kit and they started playing around with it.
So I want you to tune in tonight. This is not the only educational event of the night, but at 9 p.m. Central, my friend Bobby Shaban and I are going to be doing a webinar, and we're going to be giving some incredible tips about how to create that momentum. So that will be fantastic. And
so how do they log in? Do you have it on your
it's
personal
on
Facebook page?
I can put it there. How about that?
Because some of you, I think, that log into these are not in our group, so you wouldn't.
We're broadcasting to the world. That's fantastic. So, yes. So we will. I can put it on my personal page. Bobby Shaban, if you're watching, maybe you can post that link on here. But it's through a webinar service.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called.
Adobe Connect.
There you go, Adobe Connect. And so we're going to be sharing some of those initial tips, though.
And is it a call or it's a webinar?
No, it's a webinar. So we've got a PowerPoint. It's all fancy. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be good.
Awesome. So 9 o'clock, and you'll post somewhere.
Yes.
Somebody will post.
I'll put it on my page.
you're
We
not-
can put it on. You can put it on your page too if you want to.
Yeah,
Cool, because I'm sure
put
you're
it on my
all
page,
friends
too.
with Sonya.
maybe. Or following. You should be able to see it even if you're not a
There
friend.
you go.
but you're
Yeah,
following,
you can follow us.
I think. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, is there any other last-minute tips that you have for somebody who wants to build? So, first of all, educate yourself. Make sure you're listening and feeding yourself good information
Yep.
so you can stay positive and you can have confidence. Second is take action. Have that first class.
Yep.
And edify your upline and get your upline to join you if they have, if you feel like they're well spoken and can do it with you, have them do it with you. If not, if they're brand new, go upline a little bit more.
Yep.
You're joining, okay.
Hooray.
Very good. Go upline a little bit more so that you have somebody who does have that confidence. I just went out to Colorado. I flew out to Colorado on Friday, and that was for a person who was 5 levels deep in my group. So this, so I don't mind doing that. If somebody's excited and motivated and they want to set up a class, I will do it for them, even if they're not my front level like Skyla, but they're deeper in my group. I'm happy to do that, and I think you are too, aren't
Absolutely. Well, I travel all the time.
you? Yeah. So
So-
if the person that enrolled you is new and you want to get a little bit more help, just keep going upline because there'll be somebody there that will want to help.
I think the other thing, if I could just add one last thought, is that you need to be aware from the very beginning that there's going to be bumps on this road. We say this all the time. This is not necessarily the foolproof magic business. There's
What?
work.
I'm not going to get rich overnight. I'm quitting. This is ridiculous.
We meet
Not
those
what
people
I
though,
thought.
don't we? So inoculate yourself early to know that there's going to be times when it gets really rough. And you need to know in those times that, okay, I knew they were coming. This is what I'm going to do. They warned me. They didn't tell me it was all rainbows and, fairies. So when it gets rough, you've got to have a plan. Are you going to call your upline? Are you going to pull out that letter that you wrote to your future self? Are you going to, cure it with action? Because when you get down, the best thing that you can do is schedule some more classes and get over it and just keep moving forward. But if you let yourself fall into a dark hole, guess where Big Mo goes?
Down the hole with you.
Yeah.
Wow.
He leaves, he goes down in the hole with you, whatever. But it's
And don't you find that when you're coaching people, maybe you see this too, that when they've had a period of inactivity, they're I don't know if it's the mental part that goes down first and then the inactivity, or the inactivity and then the mental part. But if we can get them to just take action, right? If they will just
do something.
and do something, pick up the phone and make that phone call they've been dreading for that person that is on their chicken list, or get out their book and start writing their list of names, or whatever that happens to be. If we can get them to take action, then their mental shift happens.
exactly.
Right?
And once your mental state is in the right place, there is nothing that you cannot do because nothing else matters.
Right.
You're just in a good place and you can find that rhythm and just roll with it. So,
Okay, so let's take, we're just going to take a second here and let people type in questions, because we told you, I know that one person on our Facebook page for our group said, I have a couple of questions for Skyla.
oh boy.
So if you want to take a few minutes and type in questions, Skyla and I can dance for you. Woo-hoo, ha, 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 ha. While you type in the questions, we can...
Hurry, type faster. I'm out of dance moves.
Right. Don't you wish you were here? This is just so much fun.
The studio
You can be
audience,
there.
I mean, the seating here is amazing in the
Right?
studio.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's quiet because we told everybody not to clap.
All right, who's got a question? Come on.
All right.
First question.
Wow, this is a quiet group. You must have done so
We must
incredibly
have
well.
just
But
they're
their
probably
mind is blown.
You know what I think?
What?
I think they're all running out having a class right now.
I think
they're
they
like
are. They're taking
no
action.
time.
Yes.
No time to
Absolutely.
wait. All right, then. Well,
So is there anything? No. So I don't think there's anything else today. So thank you for watching Sundays with Sonya. And the next time, maybe what we'll do is we will let you ask some questions, and then have you get on there, right, and ask those same questions on the scope, because I know there's some of you with questions out there. Maybe your fingers just aren't fast enough typing or whatever. So that way we can get you ready beforehand so that we can answer your questions. Because I tell you what, Skyla and I, we both love to interact. We love to coach. We love to share our hearts, bumps, valleys, pits, holes, backward steps, but also great rewards. Yes, absolutely. Amen. There are great rewards. And I think about where you are now, almost diamond. I think about myself, almost crown.
Whoa!
And it's just wild. So we went through the exact same steps you went through, only both of us didn't have quite as much support back then, right? We didn't have scopes. We didn't have all these Facebook groups and whatnot. So you all are really fortunate. But there's one thing that will happen. If you have tools, but if you don't use the tools that you have, they're no good to you, right? If you don't know what tools, you're inhibited. If you don't use the tools you know about, you're inhibited. Yep. If you don't share the tools that you have, it slows you down. So make sure you get those tools. Find out from your upline what are the best tools to use, and then go out and do them.
Just do it. We believe in you. So,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so this has been Sundays with Sonya. Special guest Skyla Mann, the one and only, woohoo, in our new studio setup. Hope you're enjoying
It's amazing,
this.
Sonya. It really is. You have outdone yourself.
It is very, very cool. My kids are loving this too. Okay, here's a question before we wrap up.
Oh, look at him. Keep us on. How do you pick vendor shows?
How do I pick vendor shows? I'll answer that and I'll let you answer it. So when I look at a vendor show, what I do is look at who's going to attend that vendor show. So quite often we love to do homeschool shows, etc. We love to do shows that are 2 or 3 days. This is the time of year to really work. Yep, it is. So we'll take 2 or 3 days once, because then people can come and then they'll come back, right? So they'll come the first day and then they'll think about it, they'll ask some questions, they'll go home and ask their spouse. Maybe they'll bring their spouse back to that vendor show the second day. So I love those 2 or 3 day shows. If it's a vendor show that's like a home show where people are there to pick their landscaping, maybe I would pass on that. Yeah. But if it's a show about health, or if it's people that I know that I can relate with and that they're going to have an interest in Young Living, then that's my first thing. And cost, of course, is another one. Some shows are just tremendously expensive. So you got to think, okay, this vendor show is going to cost me $750. How many enrollments do I need to cover that? So when we first did our first shows, we didn't even have any kits there. We didn't expect to sell any, quote unquote, or enroll anybody there. But now we go with kits, and we expect to enroll people while we're there. And we usually do. We usually enroll several people because we have kits there at the vendor show, no matter what it is.
Good. So what tool do you recommend giving to new people?
For new people to
give out. For me, I would say that depends on the person, because we have some excellent tools. The 4-year career is still one of my favorite tools to give out to someone who is expressing an interest in the business side of Young Living. But if I have somebody that is primarily interested in the products and wanting to sample, I'm probably not going to lead with that one. And we're still a very product-oriented company, and that's kind of what our focus is. So I like to lead with that. So we've got some Oil Revolutions has an excellent little booklet about the oils that come in the premium starter kit. And if people are asking for paper information, that's a great thing to lead with. And I still love to lead with samples because I believe that once people get the power of those oils on their body or in their body, she is ready at all times, let me tell you.
Okay, so I got to tell the story,
okay.
Right? So I'm in the airport in Denver. I've got my suitcase and my Rolly computer case, and the guy behind the counter, I can't figure out the self-check-in thing, right? So I had about like 3 people to help me get myself checked in to the airport, and the guy behind the counter goes, I'm smelling something like mint. Is that mint? And I go, well, it just so happens I was teaching a class, and I have this baggie of these peppermint samples in my thing. I go, would you like one? And he goes, Yeah, that'd be great. So I pulled my suitcase off the scale, unzipped it, got out my baggie, and then all of a sudden, everybody else starts drifting over there. And there were like 6 people. And I'm like, would you like a peppermint sample? Would you like a peppermint? So all the way down the row, we gave peppermint samples. And then, of course, they said, well, do you have a card? So I got out business cards and handed a business card to everybody. I didn't have time to get their information, or I would have, but they were like, oh my gosh, this is so great. This is awesome. So
Very
for product,
cool.
just letting people try the product is all you need. You don't even need a fancy brochure. I didn't have any fancy brochures. You don't need, if you want to purchase that kind of thing, you can, but really the oils speak for themselves. You just let them experience it. That's all you have to do. Jim Rohn, Building Your Network Marketing Biz, yes.
That is one of our favorites.
And
Absolutely.
because it's also inexpensive. If you get with your upline or your group and you bulk buy the Jim Rohn Building Your Network Marketing Business, you can get them for very inexpensive. Singly, they're about $9, $9.95. But
you can buy
100 of them for $100 and get them for $1.50, right? So that's a very inexpensive tool that just about everybody can afford $1.50. And to hand that out to somebody.
And somebody asked about GoPro. I love Eric Worre's GoPro set, but that's probably not my favorite leading tool. I do some sifting out first and make sure that, I've got someone that's really interested in learning the business, because those are skills on how to share and how to build a business. So the Jim Rohn CD and the 4-year career would be much better, just an introductory tool to hand to someone to see if they're warm.
So it's kind of interesting, because I think some of us, when we first get started, think there's got to be a secret. What do these people know that have succeeded? Because they've got this secret, and I want to know this secret. And really, the little stuff is the big stuff. And the big stuff, like, I'm going to put flyers on 100 cars and go all around town and drive around town putting stuff up and flyers. Don't waste your time doing that. Please don't waste your time doing that. This is what you do. You go
connect with people.
Samples to people that are going to inspire them to try this, etc. And you just meet a need in people's life. That's all we're really doing, is just meeting a need.
I think if there is a secret, I think it's to listen.
Yes.
Because if we listen intently, and your attitude, but people will tell you exactly what they need. Yeah. They either need health, they need time, they need money.
Okay, so I got to tell you another story.
Okay.
I'm on the plane, right? And I have my things in, because I have things for my ears so they don't pop in the plane, and I've had my headphone on the whole time, so I haven't talked to my seatmate really the entire time. But as we're landing, right, I see her doing this to the seat.
Oh no.
And I think she's praying that we don't crash upon our landing, right? And so she was so precious. And so I turned to her and I go, so you were white knuckling it there for a while, weren't you? And she's like, yes, I was. And I go, and I think I saw you praying. I'm not quite sure. She goes, yes, I said the rosary, or what is it? Is it the rosary? I said the rosary as fast as I've ever said it in my life. So we just got to talking, and do you live in Des Moines? Blah, blah, blah. And she said her spouse is ill, and anyway, so I said, are you into natural health? That's all I asked her. Are you into natural things? And she's like, oh my gosh, yes, I love natural things. So I said, well, I don't know if it would be anything that you would want to do, but I do teach about some natural stuff and essential oils and stuff. So if you want,
Understatement of the year.
Right? So I'm not like all in her face. Oh my gosh, you've got to try these essential oils. These are so amazing. Right. And it can blah, 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 blah. I just said, I don't know. It might not be for you. And so that was that courage and that confidence. And she said, oh, absolutely. She typed in her email address to my phone, because I couldn't find my cards. They were in the overhead bin. So
awesome.
It's just when you get doing it and you love people. Yeah. It works.
Absolutely. Right? Good tips. You had a good trip.
We're a good team.
Man, I love it.
Yeah, you get people when you fly too.
Absolutely.
I think Skyla's enrolled somebody before they got off the plane.
So my favorite airport trip, one year we were flying to Florida, and I sat next to a couple, and so
they're dropping off.
We talked. Oh no, come back!
I know.
This is the best story.
I know.
But we were flying. I was next to this couple, so we started talking oils, and I happened to have my Zyto scanner packed in my suitcase that was checked. And so we started talking, and I said, if you want one of these Zytos, I said, you can meet me in baggage claim. And so before we left the airport, I'm set up on the bench scanning this couple. And they totally enrolled.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
So you can
Have
do
fun.
business anywhere and
Yeah.
have fun with it. Yes.
All
Indeed.
right.
So
Annie, did you see a question that we need to answer?
No, I wanted to know if I could post a comment.
Oh, yeah. You can.
post away.
My daughter wants
That would
to ask
be
a
funny.
question.
I just wanted to put a comment.
She's just going to put a comment.
My
All right.
mom rocks.
Yeah.
Well,
So just so you know
thank
that
you.
Annie, my oldest daughter, has a video camera behind the scenes. So she tapes a behind the scenes for us every single week. I'm not sure why or what we're going to do with them, but they're there and we have them.
They're going to go in the video vault.
The video vault.